Imagine tracing the story of a continent over thousands of years, a story filled with dramatic rises and falls, transformative ideas, epic conflicts, and continual reinvention. That's the saga of Europe. Its history isn't just a sequence of dates and rulers, but a living, breathing tale of how societies evolve, collide, and shape the world around them. The journey begins in the sun-soaked lands of ancient Greece. Here, small city-states like Athens and Sparta laid the groundwork for modern civilization. The Greeks didn't just build temples and statues, they crafted the concept of democracy, where citizens had a role in their own governance. They asked big questions about life, justice, and the universe, giving birth to philosophy. Their love for stories and performances established theatre as a powerful tool for exploring the human condition. These ideas were the software that would run through European history for centuries. Then came Rome, a sprawling empire that stretched from the wind-swept British Isles to the deserts of North Africa and the bustling cities of the Middle East. Rome was the hardware to Greece's software, building roads, aqueducts, and cities with astonishing engineering skill. Roman law became the backbone of justice, Latin the common tongue, and citizenship a prized status. For centuries, the Roman Empire unified vast lands under a single rule, spreading its influence far and wide. But all empires fall. Around 476 AD, the Roman Empire crumbled under the weight of invasions, internal strife, and economic troubles. Europe entered the Middle Ages, a time sometimes unfairly called the Dark Ages. Life became more local. Kings granted land to loyal lords, who protected it with knights and relied on peasants to farm the fields. This was the feudal system, a pyramid of loyalty and duty. Across this patchwork of kingdoms and territories, the Christian Church emerged as the one unifying force. Monasteries preserved knowledge, and the Pope wielded immense spiritual and often political power. Yet even in these turbulent times, seeds of the future were planted. Universities, Gothic cathedrals, and the slow rise of towns and trade. Around the 1300s, a new light dawned, the Renaissance. Inspired by the rediscovery of ancient Greek and Roman texts, artists, scientists, and thinkers in cities like Florence and Venice sparked a rebirth of creativity and curiosity. Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa and sketched ideas for flying machines. Galileo gazed at the stars and challenged old beliefs about the cosmos. The printing press, invented by Johannes Gutenberg around 1440, exploded the spread of ideas, making books affordable and knowledge accessible. But old certainties were being questioned too. In 1517, Martin Luther, a German monk, nailed his 95 Theses to a church door, criticizing abuses by the Catholic Church. His protest launched the Reformation, shattering religious unity and leading to the birth of Protestantism. Wars and debates raged across Europe as people fought over faith and freedom. As the centuries rolled on, the Age of Enlightenment arrived. Philosophers like Voltaire, Rousseau, and Locke argued for reason, individual rights, and new forms of government. Their writings inspired revolutions, most famously in America and France. In France, the monarchy was overthrown in 1789, and bold new ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity took center stage. These principles would echo around the globe. Meanwhile, the 1800s saw another revolution, this time in technology and society. The Industrial Revolution began in Britain, as steam engines, factories, and railways transformed daily life. People flocked from villages to cities, and new inventions changed how people worked, communicated, and traveled. With newfound power and wealth, European countries looked outward, building vast empires across Africa, Asia, and the Americas. This era of imperialism spread European languages, laws, and culture worldwide, but also brought exploitation and conflict. However, competition and nationalism, the fierce pride in one's nation, grew ever more intense. These pressures exploded in the 20th century into two world wars of unimaginable destruction. World War I shattered empires and left millions dead. Just 2 decades later, World War II erupted, leading to even greater devastation and the horrors of the Holocaust, where 6 million Jews, and millions of others were murdered. When the guns finally fell silent in 1945, Europe lay in ruins, its people traumatized and its cities shattered. From this devastation emerged a new kind of conflict, the Cold War. Europe was split in two. Western nations allied with the United States, promoting democracy and capitalism, while Eastern countries fell under Soviet control, embracing communism. The Berlin Wall became the stark symbol of this divide, separating families and ideologies for nearly 3 decades. Yet, beneath the tension, a desire for peace and unity grew. In 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed, and the wall came down, offering hope for a new era. Determined to avoid the mistakes of the past, European countries took bold steps toward cooperation. The European Union, officially established by the Maastricht Treaty in 1993, became a unique experiment, a group of nations pledging to work together economically and politically. Borders opened, economies intertwined, and, for many, war between members became unthinkable. Yet new challenges emerged. Economic crises, debates over immigration, the rise of nationalist politics, and questions about Europe's future role in a changing world. Throughout this epic story, several themes stand out. Conflict has often driven change, forcing societies to reinvent themselves after periods of destruction. Powerful ideas, democracy, human rights, nationalism, and more have shaped laws, governments, and even the boundaries of nations. Europe has swung between unity and fragmentation, between building empires and breaking apart into smaller states. For centuries, it was the world's hub of innovation and power, exporting its influence across the globe, for better and for worse. Yet if there's one constant, it's resilience. Despite plagues, wars, and upheavals, Europe has always found ways to recover, adapt, and move forward. Today, it faces new questions. Can the European Union hold together under pressure? How should Europe address its colonial legacy and relationships with the rest of the world? How will it cope with an aging population and the challenges of immigration? And in a world where power is shifting to new centres, what role will Europe play? The answers will be written in the future chapters of this fascinating story, a story that continues to shape not just Europe, but the world.